Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
What's up, everybody? Friday Face-Off here. It's myself, Toph, and we got Jeffrey Jehu Lavecchio on the other side. We're going to talk about a topic that is a tough topic sometimes to talk about in the hockey world. Sometimes it's a little controversial, sometimes not. But I think today we try to be a little bit current with this one. Alex Ovechkin, buddy. Alex Ovechkin just became statistically the greatest goal scorer of all time in NHL history. Dude, absolute sniper, best goal scorer ever. So cool to watch everything go down. And with that, one of the things I wanted to talk about was kind of like balancing individual ambition with wanting to win and being a good teammate. And I think that's especially relevant in youth hockey, especially as you get a little bit older and especially as it becomes a little bit more serious and you get to a little bit higher levels. You know, a lot of kids think about the me and the making it and what do I need to do. And the team concept of it doesn't get maybe into their brain hemisphere as much as it needs to be, if you know what I mean. So I think like let's talk a little bit about balancing individual ambition with what's best for the team and how kids can kind of think about it, because at the end of the day, yes, like especially as coaches, like we want our kids to get individual accolades. We want them to move up to the next level. You know, we want them to get drafted or get the scholarship or move from A to double A, you know, in all these different types of capacities. But also it's really important to kind of highlight the team aspect of it. So my thoughts were with this, like, you know, Ovi this year was about the record. It was about the record. And there were a lot of people that didn't think that Washington was going to be very good this year because they were going to be so heavily focused on just Ovi getting his record. Like a lot of people didn't pick them to be where they're at as potential President's Trophy winners and being the top team in the East, going in with a number one ranking there. So like, but here they are. You know, the team has been great. Ovi obviously broke the record. So how do you go about balancing that individual ambition, right? That individual stuff with the team?
Well, for me, it seems like the team is all bought into helping Ovi do something extremely special, and they all know that how special this is. So I think that, yeah, you know, there's been a lot of talk about that this year, but I think also the guys wanted to help him get it. And the more goals you score, you usually have a better chance to win the game. So like this, you got to score more goals than the other team to win a hockey game. So I think that this individual goal just like probably just sparked them to focus on scoring more goals. Honestly, I mean, I think that they're just all bought into Ovi too. He's obviously, a very high profile player. Obviously, all the guys love him. They love the energy that he brings and the intensity every single day for over 20 years. He's got a ton of respect. So I think that that's probably a big difference than, you know, a young kid only thinking about themselves on their 15-year-old team and playing in a manner where it's all about them and that's all they're thinking about versus the team winning. I think that this goal just happened to go in line with, you know, winning more games. You got to score more goals and let's do something special and let's help them out as much as we can. But, you know, when you're younger, yes, you know, if your goal is to play high level hockey, scouts need to like what you're doing. And that comes with, you know, performing well and getting stats that are enticing to scouts and teams at the next level. But you also have to remember that they don't want selfish players and they don't want guys from teams that lose every game. You know, like no scout wants to sign a bunch of players from a losing team. They want winning cultures. They want winning players. They want winning coaches. Like that's what everybody wants at that next level. So, you know, there's nothing wrong with having goals. I had goals every single season in pro hockey of this many points that I want to get this year. You know, that was not a point related goal and this and that. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that stuff to help it fuel you, but don't play in a way where you're only playing to achieve that goal.
Mm-hmm. Hockey is a team sport, man. It's a team sport. You need your teammates to be able to achieve individual goals. You 100% do. And like going back to your point about Ovi, like you can tell the boys love him.
Yeah.
You can tell the boys love him because of the joy that he plays with. Like you look at some of the videos that are coming out right now. Even like there was a video of him and Ryan Leonard. Ryan Leonard, who just signed from BC. He's like, there's video of him kind of talking him up and, hey kid, let's go kiddo. Hey, this, like, he's kind of helping him through. He scored his first ever NHL goal in the empty net while Ovi was on the bench waiting to get his final goal. Right. And it was just like a really cool moment watching Ovi be so happy for this little 18-year-old, not 18, 20-year-old that was playing in his first games. And you like watch the videos of them before the game and how much fun they're having. Like, if Ovi was a bad dude and the players didn't like him, like if he was only about himself, he doesn't break the record. He doesn't break the record. And it was really cool when he gave his speech, man. Like he gave his speech. What did he say? He said, "We did it. We did it." And he got emotional talking about like Oshie and Backstrom and some of these caps that he's been playing with for years or played with for years. Like without that, he understands that without them, he doesn't get that record, which was really, really cool. Really, really cool to see the aftermath of it.
So cool. Yeah. And it's such a good point. Like, yeah, it's an individual accolade, but we play a team sport. This isn't golf. This isn't tennis. You're not out there by yourself. You're out there with 5 other guys almost at all times, and a group of 20 guys every single night that are all going to be helping you achieve your goals that are individual. So it's, yeah, I mean, all I thought right away was LeBron's speeches that he gives after he's won the championship. It's literally I. The whole thing is like, have you seen that one speech? It literally made me cringe so much. It's just a massive difference in our sport, I think other sports, but yeah, I mean, you can't achieve any individual accolade in hockey. It's not possible without your teammates.
Yeah, for sure. I always like to say like the most selfish thing, like let's talk about it from that perspective, but also from like a development perspective. The one thing that I always tell kids when I get the opportunity to speak to them is the most selfish thing that you can do as a teammate is not bring your best effort in practice. Why? Because you're not making your teammates better. Like when you have a group of kids or group of players that are all bought into challenging each other and giving it their all when the lights are off, like that's special. That's a special culture. That's the recipe of a winning team. And when you have and all it takes is kind of one that doesn't buy into that, and then it kind of like ruins it for everybody else. I don't like to compete. Like, I don't like when people compete hard against me. I'm sure you've been on the ice with some of those players or played with those players before. It's like, oh my God, get out of here. Like, you're not going to fit in here. But also like the story that I also like to tell too is when I was playing for the Chicago Steel, and if you listen to the podcast, you've probably heard this before, but my last year playing for the Steel in the USHL, our coach was Will Nickel, one of the best coaches I ever had. Really an unbelievable coach on getting everybody to buy into one thing. And so I'll never forget our first team meeting before the season. We're all sitting at this big kind of like round table, and he gives us all a pamphlet. We all get a pamphlet. We all get a pamphlet. We all get a pamphlet. And in the pamphlet, the data that was on there was the amount of, and this was, in the USHL days where you kind of went to the USHL to get your scholarship. And so very few guys had scholarships playing junior hockey at that point. And so the point of the exercise was, okay, guys, look at all the D1 scholarships from last year in our league. Which teams had the most? And the teams that had the most were the best teams in the league, the teams that won. And the moral of the story and the lesson that he was trying to give to us is that individual success comes from team success. It's not the other way around. It's not the other way around. And so the teams with the best cultures, the teams that have people buy into playing in the same way, those are the ones at the end of the day that are going to win. And those are the ones that are going to develop players based on what we talked about earlier and your effort that you bring and the love that you bring to practice and the type of culture that creates. And so like, if you want these individual accolades, like team success is a big part of that. Team culture is a big part of that. And it was a great way to kind of frame things for us that like, hey, if you do want to achieve that dream at the end of the day, it's going to be from your teammates helping you and everybody being on the same page. It was phenomenal.
Preach. Unbelievable.
And at the end of the day, guys, like just to end it with this, because I know we only got a couple seconds left, like as a former college recruiter, like that's something we can see very easily on the ice if you are a selfish player and only care about yourself. And that is something that we are going to ask your coaches. One of the first questions that we're going to ask is he or she a team person? Like, are they about themselves or are they about the group? And so a lot of people think that like you can't get one without the other, but at the end of the day, they're very connected and very interrelated. And it's very cool to see Ovi break this record while the Caps are one of the best teams in the league and winning in the East. And yeah.
Share the show.
Share the show.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.